Hey everybody, welcome back to Andyland. It's your girl Andy. It is day 2 of our Valentine's Day countdown series. If you missed day 1, don't worry, I'll link it up in the corner for you. Today we are serving up this sultry date night glam. If you would like to see how I got this look, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other uploads, and keep watching. And of course, we're starting with a clean, moisturized face. We're going to start with the NYX Brow Glue for the eyebrows. Help put those little brow hairs in place. I'm so excited for this look. Y'all gonna love it. I'm going to prime my face using the Milk Hydrate Primer. This primer is like the holy grail of primers. I don't know what type of juju they put in this, but it's working. I'm going to spray my face on top of that with the Milk Hydro setting spray. This just kind of helps to set this the primers in place and make sure my face is nice and tacky to receive products. I'm going to set around my mouth and nose using the Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade Deep 35. I'm just pressing that in around where I would typically get the most oily. I picked up this Ruby Kisses eyebrow pencil from my local beauty supply store. It's in the shade dark brown. I absolutely love this pencil. I tell my friends all the time, do not sleep on drugstore, do not sleep on hair store products. This is going to be a new staple in my collection. Look how easily it just glides on, like, oh. To clean up my brows, I'm using the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C13 in this flat brush. It was just such an effortless brow day. Like I was very pleased, and of course you have to buff that concealer in to make sure there's no harsh lines, no halo brows over here, okay? To prep my eyes for shadow, I'm using the e.l.f. Camo concealer in the shade Tan Latte. I'm going to blend that out and make sure that the base is super even. When your base for your eyeshadow is not even, your eyeshadow will come off super patchy, and you do not want that. I'm using the Airspun translucent powder to set my eyelids. This will help make sure that there is very minimal, if any, creasing and help ensure the base is even. These are the two palettes we'll be using for today's eyeshadow look. The first is the Morphe Fierce by Nature palette. I'm taking the shade Ferocious to my crease using a fluffy brush. I do not need this look to be super harsh and precise because it is a smoky eye, so I'm just putting that in my crease and blending it outward toward my brow. To deepen my crease, I'm going in with the shade Domination. It's a deeper brown and it'll help create a little bit more definition to the eye. So I'm first placing that into my crease and then blending it out towards the first crease color that we put in. Going into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, I'm taking the black Noir and I'm going to take a flat brush and pat that all over my lid space. Literally pat it, pat it, pat it. That's how you get the best color payoff. I'm going back into the Morphe palette and I'm taking that shade Domination, the deeper shade we use in our crease, and I'm just reapplying that to the outer edges of the black shadow that we put on just to blend it out. I do not want like a cut crease type of look. I definitely want this to look really blown out, really airbrushed, and I'm repatting black on because it was kind of coming off as I was blending a little bit, so you'll see me going back and forth between the crease colors and the lid color just to make sure that everything looks seamless. There was some fallout and I kind of went overboard with the black shadow in a couple of areas, so I'm taking a I'm taking a makeup wipe and just cleaning up underneath my eyes so that the shadows don't mix with my foundation and cause me to look like I have a black eye. That'd be bad. I'm trying a new foundation. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation in the shade 480C. When I tell you guys, I love this foundation. How come nobody told me this foundation was like this? Like, even though it says C and I'm guessing it's for cool, you can kind of tell it comes off super warm. Yeah, I got some product in my edges. Be careful and don't be rushing like me. But look at the coverage from just one layer of foundation and the instant glow to my skin. Like, my skin looks super hydrated. It looks super radiant. I stan this foundation, guys. I think I might have found a new fave. After blending with a brush, I always follow that up using a damp sponge. So I'm taking my Sonia Kashuk sponge. It is damp and I'm patting all over my face to make sure that I minimize brush strokes and ensure that the base is even. We are about to spray our face. You know, after each layer, I try to spray my face. I'm taking the Benefit Cosmetics Professional Super Setter, spraying it and then patting it in. I always pat in my sprays until I get to the end. You want to make sure that that spray is mixed in with your foundation to help with the longevity of your makeup, especially if you're going somewhere or you have to be wearing your makeup for extended periods of time. Something I recommend. It makes my makeup last and look flawless, so I'm not going to steer y'all wrong. To conceal, I'm using the Fenty Beauty ProFilt'r Concealer in the shade 410. I'm placing that under my eyes, around my mouth, just to make sure that I have coverage in the areas where I need it, even though this foundation did an amazing job of covering some of my dark spots and imperfections. Like, whew, kudos. I'm going to blend that in using a brush. Patting motions. Always start kind of on the edge of the concealer and work my way towards the inner corners of my eye. I feel it kind of helps prevent the spread of the concealer to places I don't want. Taking the brush I use for my foundation, I'm going over the edges of the concealer to make sure it's blended in nicely with my foundation before I go in and highlight. If you watched the last video in this series, you know I've been doing something new with my highlighting. I'm first taking the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C12 directly under the inner corner of my eye. Then I'm taking the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Honey, and I'm going to go underneath that and down the bridge of my nose today and my chin. You know, usually I just keep it under my eye, but I was feeling a little extra. Then I took my foundation stick from Juvia's Place in the shade Katsina, and I used that to contour, placing that in all the usual areas. I'm going to let that concealer sit while I blend out my contour. I was having my hair up today, so I wanted to make sure my face was really defined, really contoured, really bronzed, really sculpted. That's the word I'm looking for, sculpted. So I feel like when my hair is up in a ponytail or a bun, sculpted is kind of the way to go. To blend out my nose contour, I'm using a smaller brush, trying to be really careful of the concealer I put on my nose. This is usually why I don't put concealer on my nose before I blend out my contour, just because I can sometimes end up creating a mess. But I think I did a pretty good job today of doing what I was supposed to do without disturbing that concealer. Now I'm blending out the concealer on my nose first, then my chin, and then under my eyes, so the concealer under my eyes has the chance to really get tacky. I'm blending it out using a brush, again starting with the outer edge and then working my way in towards my inner eye. I'm going in with my foundation brush again to make sure that there aren't any harsh lines and blend where my concealer and contour meet. Then I'm also going to go in after that with my sponge and make sure that there's an even layer of product all over my face and there aren't any brush strokes. This basically just helps make sure that your base is flawless. Like if your base isn't flawless, your face is not going to come out the way you want. So now that that layer of concealer is down, I can spray my face. I'm using the Milk Hydro Setting Spray. I just love this stuff. I need to invest in like a full-size one. I don't know why I keep buying minis. But I'm gonna, of course, pat that in using my brush and then following that up with my sponge just to make sure the product is integrated and my base is even before I go in to set with powder. For powder, I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Blondie. I'm taking my sponge and pressing a nice thin layer underneath my eyes, around my mouth, and onto the bridge of my nose. This will help set that concealer in place. This powder is honestly one of my favorite powders. It does have a mild scent, so if you have sensitive skin or you're sensitive to smells, you may want to use caution when picking a powder like this, but to be honest, this is probably the only powder that ensures that I will not crease throughout the day. Like, so amazing. That powder gives you an instant filtered look. Like, look at that. Instant filter. Don't play with Huda. To set my entire face, I'm going on with the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade Deep 56. Taking a big fluffy brush and making sure to press that powder in and give me that ultra smooth finish that this look was. Oh, guys, I'm so excited for this look. Look at my face. Okay, I quit. I'm done. All right, back to being professional. I was actually going on a little date night today with my girl Melanie, so I did want to bake. I'm using the Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Powder. I'm taking that along the sides of my nose, under my eye, and around my mouth, and down the bridge of my nose. I definitely wanted to make sure that I locked this look in. To finish up the eyes, I'm going back into the Nora from the Soft Glam palette, and I'm taking a smaller brush and a more precise brush, let me say, and I'm taking that and smoking it out onto my lower lash line. I'm going back into the Morphe palette and taking the two shades I used from Increased Domination and Ferocious, and I'm using that to smoke out the Nora that I put on. So basically reversing what I did on the lid portion of my eye. For bronzer, I'm using the Kylie bronzer in the shade Tawny Mami, and I'm taking this Japanese brush and applying the bronzer everywhere that I had placed my contour. I am looking for new bronzers, guys. I feel like I really rotate between the same two, so if you guys have any bronzer suggestions, leave them down below and I will do my best to try them out. The mascara I'm using today is the Maybelline Lash Stiletto mascara in the shade, I think it's Very Black. I'm just using that to coat my lashes. I'm going to let that dry while I do blush. I'm using the Saharan blush palette volume, is that 2 or 1? I can't remember. I'll put it in the description box, but I'm using the shade Tau, which is like the orangey shade, and I'm taking that to my cheeks and, you know, the little tip of my nose as usual. Going back into the Kylie bronzer, I'm using a smaller brush to help define my nose contour. Before moving on, I'm going to put on my eyelashes and come right back. Now that they're on, I can go in with eyeliner. I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eyeliner in the shade Black Market, and I'm taking that to my waterline. I'm dusting away the bake using my powder brush with no extra product. I'm patting and dusting so I can still kind of press the powder in, and I'm not completely wiping it away. I've realized it just kind of looks better and doesn't disturb my base at all. You know my makeup looks good when I start doing the little happy dances. And then I'm going to put the Maybelline mascara onto my lower lashes just to make sure that they are coated as well. Moving on to lips, I'm going to line them using the NYX lip liner in the shade Espresso. Couldn't decide whether to do like a red look or a nude look, and ultimately I decided to do a nude lip. So this is honestly, I think, a new fave combo too. So lining my lips with Espresso, and then I'm taking the Shout Loud lipstick from NYX in the shade a la mode, and I'm gonna yum. And then I'm going in with the Morphe gloss in the shade Freebird. Nobody told me these Morphe glosses are amazing. This is my first one, and I will be buying more. But this lip combination ended up looking fire. I'm spraying my face with the very last drops of my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I still have not been able to find another full-size one, so I'm struggling. And then I'm going to pat that in about 80% of the way. I don't like my face completely dry when I go in with highlighter, which is what I'm going in with next. I'm using the Fenty Beauty highlighters in Mean Money and Hustla Baby, and I'm taking that only to my nose. You guys know I don't really highlight on my cheeks anymore. I find that I always kind of get like a natural radiance on them anyway, so why go overboard? So I put that on and then use my foundation brush to mute it just a tad bit. For the final spray, I'm using the Milani Make It Last Matte Spray, and then I'm going to let that air dry. Right after filming, I somehow broke the nozzle to this spray, and I still have so many more looks to film, so yay me. Alright guys, so this is the final look. Perfect, sultry glam for date night with you and bae. If you guys would like to recreate this look, all the products will be listed down in the description box below. If you post pictures on Instagram, make sure you tag me. I would love to see your guys' recreations. This video is the second in our Valentine's Day countdown, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss the rest of the videos. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow for a new one. Thanks for watching. Bye!